Speed No Limits at Oakwood is the tallest, fastest, and steepest roller coaster in all of Wales. This is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter with a beyond vertical drop and 2 inversions. But it is one of the earlier ones, so does it still hold up? Find out in this review. Oakwood began its transformation into a full-fledged amusement park in the mid-1990s. After Megaphobia opened in 1996 and was a smashing success, the park added thrill rides over the next decade. This concluded in 2006 with Speed No Limits. This opened as the tallest and fastest coaster in all of Wales, and it more notably featured the world's steepest drop, reaching a max angle of descent of 97 degrees. The ride would hold that record for 2 years until 2008, when S&S debuted their first El Loco coaster in Steel Hog at Indiana Beach. This was just the third Gerstlauer Eurofighter, and the first to be installed in the United Kingdom. 2 additional ones will be built in the following years. Adventure Island opened Rage in 2007, and Thorpe Park opened Saw the Ride in 2009. But Speed is still the tallest of the trio, standing 115 feet or 35 meters tall. That still makes it one of the tallest Eurofighters worldwide as well, and it looks great on this park's skyline. You can see the vertical lift from several vantage points in the distance. Then to access this ride, you have a dedicated plaza that walks past the coaster's entire layout. This area is otherwise bare though, no theming, and it is serviced by a single dead-end path with no other rides or attractions. So it is kind of awkward walking over there if you don't plan to ride or if Speed is closed. And the ride could use a repaint as well. The once bright orange track is now faded, which looks pretty bleak if you visit this park on one of the country's famously cloudy days. The queue consists of an unshaded path. Then at the end of the queue, seating is on a first-come basis when you reach the station. While you can wait an extra cycle if the row you want is already occupied, the forces feel identical across the train, so I don't really have a preference where I sit, but I know some people prefer the front for that unobstructed view. Like many rides at this park, Speed sounds like it has minimal queues most days. That happened on my weekday visit this past summer. That is even with its limited capacity. I have heard of this ride building up a decent wait though on busy days, most notably bank holidays and summer Saturdays when the park runs their After Dark event. Each train seats a max of 8 riders, as there are just 2 rows of 4. I believe the ride usually operates 2 trains simultaneously, but it was running just 1 the day I visited. That may have been due to weather though. The UK had just been hit with the remnants of Hurricane Ernesto, and the area was still experiencing 20 to 30 mile per hour sustained winds and gusts up to 40 to 45 miles per hour. Oakwood amazingly had all their coasters operating, including Speed, but the operator would try to have the train as full as possible, which was completely understandable. Outside of waiting for additional riders at some points, dispatches were good, especially considering that there was just 1 operator on duty. It helps there are simple restraints. Riders are secured by just an over-the-shoulder restraint, no additional harnesses, and these are snug. Now I much prefer the newer Eurofighters and Infinity coasters that utilize lap bars. These are far more freeing, so they amplify the forces, and more importantly, they eliminate the possibility for headbanging. This can be an issue with Gerstlauers, since their coasters can be hit or miss in the smoothness department. I was a bit nervous given how Speed is one of the earlier Eurofighters, but it fortunately tracks decently well. The directional changes, which are the most common spot for headbanging on these rides, are thankfully fluid. The only issue is that the train will shake in the valleys in the first half. This did not lead to any headbanging or lingering discomfort for me, at least on my back-to-back rides. At worst, I could see this causing a minor headache if you kept on marathoning this coaster over and over again. Once dispatched, you turn right and pause at the base of the lift hill, building suspense for the impending climb. You then ascend a vertical lift hill. This takes longer than the other Eurofighters though. This is a combination of this ride's added height and a slower chain, but you do get that unique visual staring up at the sky, and if you look off to your right, you get a decent view of the park, albeit from a weird angle. Once at the top, you are thrown over the ride's signature beyond vertical drop. This is as great as you'd expect. It offers good ejector in front and slightly better ejector in back. You are abruptly and forcibly thrown upwards. The pullout then juxtaposes that with solid Gs. This leads directly into a camelback. I wish this element had been included on more Eurofighters. Gerstlauer can do airtime really well when they want to. You fly over the top. Once you reach the apex, everyone is treated to great ejector airtime, and you stay out of your seat for the entire descent. This leads to the far overbank. It is a relatively forceless element though. It simply changes your direction. Next is the first inversion, a vertical loop. The valleys offer decent positive Gs. Then, you slow down just enough at the apex to get some nice hang time. I love how you rapidly switch between forces here. You then rise into the mid-course brake run. It isn't exactly a straight climb, as you subtly turn left. This produces some fine laterals, along with a little floater airtime. The train then passes through the brakes without slowing down much. Exiting this, there's a small and mild dip that leads into the ride's second and final inversion, a barrel roll. This is delightfully slow, resulting in some really good hang time. This is the better of the two inversions. Without delay, this morphs into a swooping drop downwards. No force to it, but you build back up some respectable speed. This leads directly into a 540-degree helix. The Gs are light at the start, but they are solid by the end of it. You then hit the brakes and return to the station, ending the 1,970 foot or 600 meter long experience. In terms of pacing, this coaster does a good job. The first half is nice speed throughout. Then in terms of elements, the overbank and midcourse don't do too much for me, but they are quick, so they do not disrupt much from the action. The rest of the coaster is a mix of decent to great elements. So what would I rate Speed No Limits? I would give this coaster a 7 out of 10. This is a good coaster. I love the start with that beyond vertical drop and camelback. Both offer excellent airtime. Then the two inversions are sweet as well, as both offer nice hang time. The other elements are decent at best, and there are a few elements that are quite frankly lackluster peppered in, but the experience is reasonably smooth despite the over-the-shoulder restraints. Megaphobia is my favorite ride at Oakwood, but this is a respectable number 2 coaster for a park of this scale. Speed is towards the middle of the pack for the Gerstlauer Eurofighters for me, and it would have potential to place even higher if it ran with lap bar only trains. That would accentuate those elements. And honestly, I am surprised this layout has not been cloned. I believe it was designed with that purpose. It has superb elements, and it occupies a slender plot of land. So those are my thoughts on Speed No Limits at Oakwood, the tallest and fastest roller coaster in all of Wales. What are your thoughts on this coaster? Are you a fan? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.